Good day, everyone, especially to Dr. Abdani Bandara. Sir, good morning. Today I'm going to present the different essential beliefs, characteristics, and habits of an elite entrepreneurs entitled The Entrepreneur Mind. This is by Kevin D. Jensen. So, to begin with, in the chapter 1, it talks about the strategy. So here are the different strategies um, of this topic. Strategy is a style of thinking, a conscious and deliberate process, an intensive implementation system, the science of ensuring future success. It is, according to Pete Johnson, a British businessman. All entrepreneurs must ask themselves three vital questions that concerns their business strategy, just like where are we now, where do we want to be, and how do we get there. If you don't know these answers to these questions, so you don't have a strategy for success. A business with a clear and a solid strategy are prepared to win. Companies with inferior products often beat companies with superior products because while the big dogs rest on their laurels, the underdogs are implementing and executing a better strategy. So here is Think Big. According to Benjamin E. Mays, a minister, educator, a scholar, and a social activist, it must be borne in mind that the strategy in life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach. It is not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Not failure, but low aim is sin. In business, thinking big simply means pursuing ideas that maximize the scope of your potential. And then, likewise, it can mean pursuing ideas that have a maximum impact in the world. Um, so, one of the main obstacles to thinking big is the ability to outgrow your environment. And then, many entrepreneurs lack the motivation to pursue big ideas. Yeah, that's true. And then several entrepreneurs lack the self-confidence to think big. And then entrepreneurs of, often lack the diversity and expertise of influencers required to think and eventually to execute in a big way. So in this, let's move on to the second topic. To create new markets. So, according to Henry Ford, a founder of Ford Motor Company, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. The two kinds of entrepreneurs are those who create markets and those who do not. On the other hand, the entrepreneur who creates markets, it is considered revolutionary. On the other hand, the entrepreneur which competes in well-established markets is considered ordinary. Next is work on your business, not in your own business. If your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. This is according to Michael Gerber, an author of the E Myth. Before you even start your business, focus on planning how to get rid of yourself, especially if the business is service oriented and you are the one serving. So, finding quality people to fill all important roles puts you in the frame of mind of running a business. So, here, otherwise, your chances of growth are limited significantly. So if you want to guarantee limited growth, you might as well get a job. Next one here is all risk isn't risky. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. This is according to Warren Buffett, a businessman, investor, and philanthropist. So risk, it is defined by the same dictionary. It is defined as the possibility of loss, and then entrepreneurs have a higher tolerance for risk than the average person when it comes to starting and running a business. So according to Kaufman Foundation, less than 80% of business last after their fifth year of existence. So here is don't waste time. Procrastination is opportunity's natural assassin. This is according to Victor Kiam, an entrepreneur, former owner of New England Patriots. So the best entrepreneurs create environments of stressful urgency. Entrepreneurs knew that startups rarely get anything done in a relax. So take your time environment. So here, um, before, so next is this one is build a company that is systems dependent, not a people dependent. Yeah, this is true because being a startup doesn't mean you have to operate haphazardly and without systems. While some degree of organizational chaos is unavoidable, you should still create, think through, and continually optimize your systems so that you are less dependent on people. So systems are important to put all the documents, the records, and it is easily to be accessible. So systems are the essential building blocks of every successful business, which is true. This is according to Ron Carr, entrepreneur business, a business coach. Next is the ask for help. When you start your business, you should lose your ego immediately. So it is the main the ego is the main reason that entrepreneurs don't seek help. One of the quickest ways to lead a life of mediocrity or utter failure is to think that you can accomplish a major task all by yourself. The self made man or woman is a myth. Even the greatest business minds of our time had to ask for help. So, just like Mark Zuckerberg, who asked his parents to help finance his young company, and then um, the Facebook is naging sikat siya. So his parents gave him an $85 in the summer of 2004 to help buy servers for his growing business. So tell everyone what you want to do and someone will want to help you do it. Next is business comes first, family. Family is second. So, one of the biggest advantages of entrepreneurship is independence and flexibility to prioritize. So, if your business is doing well, you deserve to take more breaks and to spend quality time with family. So, second good things happens when you get your priorities straight. So, you are an entrepreneur, so your priority so business is really your first priority is so you when you are in business it's just like not like always in business, but you should have a time for your family. So family is in a second place. Next is do what's most important first. So it is about setting prioritization of what to do first. What are your priorities? So the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. This is according to Stephen Covey, a best-selling author, just like the 7 habits of highly effective people. Here, do important tasks first thing in the morning when you get up. This is perhaps the most useful habit that has helped people to become more efficient. and then change your environment. Sometimes you really need to boost your productivity is a change in environment. So if you work at home, still away to a small park, or if you are in the office, go to a cafe. And then next is disconnection from the real world. So don't check your email before or during work, and then turn off the television and telephone. This interrupts clouds your focus. So research has shown that multitasking negatively affects your productivity. Take substantive breaks. So do something that takes your mind completely off the task at hand. Next here is hire a good lawyer. So lawyer is important when you have running a business. A good business attorney will provide a vital assistance in almost every aspect of your business. This is according to Cliff Ineko, the author of the Small Business Survival Guide. So when you are ready to start your business, an attorney will recommend a legal entity that is best for you. And then an attorney helps you protect your intellectual property. An attorney reviews the legal documents of your company, creates and receives from other to ensures that your interests are protected. Next is the business plan is overrated. No business plan survives first contact with a customer. Instead of rushing to finish the document, make sure you take the crucial preliminary steps before you begin writing. If done thoroughly, these steps make your business plan stronger and greatly improve your chances of success and finding. Requiring criticism and disagreement in your company. So it's not always that what you do in your company is always right. You need to have criticism of your other employee or from the other people for your business to improve. So honest disagreement is often a good sign of progress. A culture that encourages frequent criticism and disagreement could have led to that kind of success. Now, I actively seek people who will ruffle my feathers by criticizing my ideas. Next is fire your worst customers. Here, successful organizations, and I include churches and political parties on the list, fire the 1% of their constituents that cause 95% of the pain. This is according to Seth Godin, an entrepreneur and author. So when most entrepreneurs start their business, they take every customer they can get. This approach reminds of the obsession with scoring in the elementary school basketball games. So be skeptical of clients who seem not to know what is needed or who constantly make changes. Next is be careful if a client is not willing to pay an hourly rate or a piece rate of some kind. Avoid any client who hesitates to sign a well-written agreement. Take heed of any less than good feelings you have about a potential client. Next here is make money while you are doing nothing. $100 million in the bank isn't the fantasy. The fantasy is their lifestyle of complete freedom it supposedly allows. This is according to Timothy Ferris, an author of the 4-Hour Work Week. So, entrepreneurs who have figured out how to make money while doing nothing have reached this upper echelon of entrepreneurship. Next is outsourcing makes sense. If you deprive yourself of outsourcing and your competitors do not, you're putting yourself out of business. The benefits of outsourcing outweigh any negatives as its opponents describe them. If you have believed the negative hype about outsourcing, quickly disabuse yourself of it and implement the process into your business strategy. So nothing here next is move on fast from a bad business idea. Nothing is more dangerous than an idea when it is done. Only one you have. Don't let a bad idea derail your plans for the greatness. If it isn't working, move on or adjust quickly. Next is a bad economy is a great opportunity. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. So in short, entrepreneurs do not allow a bad economy to hold them back from accomplishing their goals. Ironically, poor economic conditions often have the opposite effect. They motivate entrepreneurs more and propel them to success even faster. Times are not so great, but entrepreneurs ignore the zest gives and create positive circumstances. They roll up their sleeves and get to work anticipating the next growth period. That's where we want to be, ready to grab the bull by its horns and ride. Next is adapt the technology early. So, um, any new technology tends to go through a 25-year adoption cycle. Not only are entrepreneurs early adopters, but they also explore technologies way before they are even introduced to the general public for consumption. Next is ignorance can be bliss. To succeed in life, you need two things. So these two things are ignorance and confidence. This is according to Mark Twain, an author and humorist. So conceiving of an idea that puts you outside of your area of expertise or comfort zone does not equal to failure. Next is adapt to change quickly. So change before you have to. A business that ignores change is a business that welcomes its own extermination. The products or services you offer today won't keep you in business tomorrow. So, the very nature of business includes changing to meet customers' demands in a better way. So, if you have the strategy to proactively deal with change in your business, save yourself from a slow death, and just shut down shop now. Next is technology is an opportunity, not a threat. Technology has always been important, but we are standing in the precipice of an inflection point in human history. Technology is reaching what I call the knee of the curve, a point in time which its exponential growth is taking off at a nearly vertical slope. The pace of progress is itself accelerating. So the most challenging thing to do in business is to stay in business. This is according to the US Department of Commerce. 7 out of 10 new employers firms survive at least 2 years, and half at least 5 years, a third at least 10 years, and a quarter stay in business for 15 years or more. So evidently, as time increases, the odds of your company surviving decrease. So next here is always follow up. So success from taking the initiative and following up. This is according to Anthony Robbins, author, a professional speaker. So, um, fear of rejection causes many entrepreneurs to fail to follow up. So, learning how to deal with rejection years ago was especially difficult. Here is entrepreneurs lack the dedication and energy to follow up. This is the reason they don't want to have a follow up. So all so having a follow up is always important. Next is a misunderstanding of business etiquette prevents many entrepreneurs from following up. So in brief, don't let these three common reasons for failing to follow up cripple you. Entrepreneurs don't miss opportunities, they seize them. The surest way to do this is to follow up with everybody, especially people who can help your business to excel. As for the exclusive entrepreneur who sought funding from angel investors, his company has not made much progress. No surprise there. Next one is have a laser-like focus. You must be remain focused on your journey to greatness. So, um, next here is non-profit really means a profit. Opportunity often comes disguised. Yeah, it's not always you have a profit, but that but that doesn't mean that you don't have a profit, because a profit can be there in disguise. You cannot see them, um you cannot notice them, but little did you know that it is a profit, still a profit. So chances are that you will realize that non-profit really means profit, at least for you. Here next, habits of strategy is explore new adventures for inspiration. So exploration is really the essence of the human spirit. Placing yourself in new environments and exploring new things enables you to apply those experiences to other facets of life. You become a synthesizer, a skill that honored properly could be the key to your next big opportunities in business. Next is failure doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So, failure is inevitable in entrepreneurship, but how you deal with failure determines whether you are ultimately a winner. Next is seek partnerships for the right reasons. For entrepreneurs looking to build a new business or expand an existing one, a strong partner can be the key. Partners should not be taken lightly or rushed, and they should be pursued for the right reasons. So, if you follow the suggested guidelines, you will be less likely to enter into a partnership that's not more harm than good. So, partnership is important and essential to a business, especially if your partner is responsible. Yeah, and that's good. Next here is be a master at leveraging resources. People with leverage have dominance over people with less leverage. Choose only certain companies to engage in this type of arrangement. You must be strategic about every deal and understand the motives and desires of all parties involved. An idea's executing, not its uniqueness, yields success. Ideas are easy. It is the execution of ideas that really separates the sheep from the goats. A common perception of entrepreneur is the idea generating, dream chasing idealist. This one sided view overlooks the equally important part of the entrepreneur, that is unyielding executioner. Find an enemy. Yeah, it's weird that in business you must find an enemy. A man can be too careful in the choice of his enemies. So when you start a business, immediately choose an enemy that you and your team aspire to crush. Don't underestimate your competition. I hate competition, so never tell a potential investor that you have absolutely no competition. So committing, no matter if you are in the initial stages of the severity of the competitive threat. Moreover, it's just developing your startup, or if you are a developed company, don't underestimate the competitive threat of the substitutes. So committing either one of these mistakes will likely cause you to have a blockbuster ending. So ask for what you want. Ask and it will be given to you. This is from the text of Matthew 7:7. So if you want something, I encourage you to ask for it. Yeah, so you will be surprised to see what it gets you from time to time. So next here is no competition means your idea probably has a little merit. So competition is very good. It's what makes one strive to be better. No competition probably means you have a bad business idea on your hands. So here, therefore, each one warrants your special attention, and so often what looks like a harmless path to success is really a dangerous path leading you right off a cliff. So next here is put out for fires quickly. So the man who has no problems is out of the game. To be to be great in business means to be great at putting out fires quickly. They are inevitable, and one of the biggest fires you'll have to put out is an urgent customer's complaint. So most importantly, we formalize the way we handle urgent customer complaints. So we use this simply 5 steps process. Just like first is respond quickly and calmly. Listen attentively after you offer a sincere apology. Tell the customers how you plan to address the problem in detail with a specific time frame, and then give updates often in the process of your resolution. And when the issue is resolved, make sure the customer is satisfied. Next is have an exit strategy. So begin with the end in mind. The biggest benefit to planning your exit from the very beginning is that it helps you to make good decisions for your business. So we are done with the chapter 1 about the different strategies. So let's move on to the chapter 2 about education. So formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. This is according to Jim Reed, an entrepreneur, author, motivational speaker. So school is not necessarily education. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. So the passion debates persist about whether college and advanced degree are worth it for entrepreneurs. However, everyone can agree that although you may not be in school, your education should never stop. Entrepreneurs who educate themselves constantly about new technology, business strategies, and so on, and so don't necessarily have to be in school to do that. Next here is you are in no rush to get an MBA. So you wasted $150 on an education you could have got for a buck 50 in late charges at the public library. Here, next, so we are done with the education. Next, in the chapter 3, it's all about the people. So spend the majority of your time with people smarter than you. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. This is from the text of Proverbs 27:17. Therefore, it behoves every entrepreneur and anyone else who strives for success to be surrounded with the brightest and best minds. Next here is the office space is not a priority, but a good team is. I think team first. It allows me to succeed. It allows my team to succeed. So one of the most costly mistakes the entrepreneur made is to rent high-end office space thinking that it would foster growth through increased productivity and project a more professional image. So it did none of this. In fact, it all it did was increase operating expenses and precipitate a drop in profits. Next is what you wear isn't what you're worth. Clothes don't make the man. Yeah. Here, so when it comes to what is acceptable to wear when doing business, conventional wisdom demands that you dress to impress, that you project the most professional image. So don't get So ironically, Zuckerberg's bold to move to wear a hoodie during his IPO roadshow says much more about his confidence than if he were to don the most expensive designer suit in the world. So, so what you wear doesn't mean you are a successful business owner. Next is you don't always have to be the smartest one in the room. So you'll never really learn much from hearing from yourself speaking. So the best entrepreneurs don't always have to be the smartest one in the room. They know better. Next is talent triumphs seniority. So I rather have a lot of talent and a little experience than a lot of experience and a little talent. Entrepreneurs believe the talent triumphs seniority. Of course, I don't condone angiism. You are odd and it's okay. Eventually, the nerds and the geeks will have their day, yes. So, when it comes to being a successful entrepreneur, it pays to be odd. And besides, when you become wealthy and successful, people tend to forget how odd you might really be. And then, regardless, everyone wants to be your friend. So, when you're odd and geeks, no one will believe you, make friend of you. But if you success, many people will come to you. Yes. People don't only work for money. Do not hire a man who does your work for money, but him who does it for love of it. So hire a man that does not only sees the money, but hire those people that has a passion on what they are doing, because if you have the passion, you love what you're doing, and yeah, and it will become more successful. So chances are you have something that they want, and you can use that as leverage. Next is you have a sidekick. Two heads are better than one. My most successful ventures have always been those in which I had a great teammates. Next is don't let people abuse your flexibility. So work is hard, distractions are plentiful, so and time is short. So avoid this trap. So if you don't have a co-founder, search for one. It may. Next is don't manage people, manage expectations. So high expectations are the key to everything. So being an entrepreneur is great, but it has its downside too. One of the most unfortunate realities that many entrepreneurs deal with is people to tendency to abuse their flexibility. So this is especially true for entrepreneurs in strong relationships ranging from friendships to marriages. So when that privilege is abused or at least not respected, frustration and anger ensue. So don't. Next is get right mentor. Everybody can tell you how to do it. They never did it. So no entrepreneur has succeeded without some type of mentor figure. Mentors are invaluable, so mentors are important for you to know more about how to run the business and how to handle your business. Next is choose your spouse wisely. So the most important career choice you'll make is who you marry. Yeah. Next is fire unproductive people. So hire slow, fire fast. Accept only the best people for your business. If you are most efficient in your search for talent, even the lesser candidates you consider will be above the average. So as a result, your company will grow faster and last longer. So we are done with the chapter 3 about the people. Let's proceed to chapter 4 about the finance. So money isn't the most important thing in life, but it is reasonably close to oxygen and they gotta have its scale. So this chapter presents different ways to stay up on top of your personal and business finances to avoid problems. So here you don't need money to make money. Money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. Having no money doesn't mean you have no resources. Yes, so you've got something, so get started on your new business and without spending any money if you can. Next is pay taxes quarterly. You don't pay taxes, they take taxes. So if you are just starting a company or already have one, don't be like us. So make sure that you pay estimated taxes quarterly to avoid being chopped by tax axe. Next is a check in hand means nothing. Honesty is the most part less profitable than dishonesty. Save the celebration until you have cold cash in hand or the funds are verified. Next is avoid negative cash flow. To become successful, you must learn how to manage cash flow. So, negative cash flow is not bad thing per se. In fact, it is necessary for many business in numerous industries, particularly if the business is in the startup phase. So, however, maintaining a negative cash flow positions for too long is detrimental to any business. So, your goal as a leader should be to find out what the norms are for your industry and what is healthy. Next is borrow money from a bank before you need it. A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it. So entrepreneurs must be mindful that recessions and economic downturns are inevitable. Next is payment is king. Disregard standard payments terms. Here, recent courts revealed the co-founder of Facebook frustration with a client who failed to pay him for his computer programming services in 2014. So lack of money is the root of all evil. So here at the time, Mark Zuckerberg was still a computer science major at Harvard. So he wrote in January 2014, I contracted out my services for money and even though I see to continually be providing services. So here, it is really true that lack of money leads people to do evil things. Next is hiring a professional accountant is money well spent. I have no use for bodyguards, but I have very specific use for two highly trained certified public accountants. As an entrepreneur, you have to decide what services to pay for and accounting is one of them. Here, research indicates that the great majority of entrepreneurs will never receive money from a venture capitalist or an angel investor. Instead, they will fund their business with their own money and via credit cards. Next is there's a downside. Next is here. Next is manage debt well. So rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. Yeah, it's not. Next is there's a downside to heavy investors. So angel investors funding for your business is a bad idea sometimes. A capital infusion by an investors can be a huge accomplishment and really propel your business to the stratosphere of success, but remember that it can also be pure hell. Next here is focus. Next here is focus on building revenue. My revenue was 4 million my first year in business. Of one $20 item. This is according to Sarah Blakely, a billionaire founder of Spanx. So the best entrepreneurs ask the revenue question every day and focus on building value through sales. So everything else is less important. So here, entrepreneurs who ignore the revenue questions only hurt themselves by overlooking the obvious. Next is the biggest investment in your company is yours. Yes. So if I have nothing to sacrifice, I have nothing to gain. So you must be so more sacrifice means more uh more more chances of gaining. So a business whose founders are well vested is a business that's worthier of investment. Next here is use different banks to minimize risk. I have always been afraid of banks. So if you don't take this crucial step, you are headed for disaster. So one of the worst things you can do as an entrepreneur is to open a business bank account at a bank where you have a personal bank account. So entrepreneurs often set up some all of their banks accounts with the same bank of what they have. Consider good reasons why they don't do so without thinking of or knowing the consequences. Next here is know your paydeck score. So a good reputation is more valuable than money. So here next here is we are done with chapter 4. Now we are headed to chapter 5 about marketing and sales. So on any given Monday, I am one sale closer and one idea away from being a millionaire. So this chapter presents useful tools to help develop your market and customer base. So likewise, you'll find advice for improving your ability to make a sale. So introduced with practical and engaging real-life cases, so these suggestions can be implemented immediately and will give you results quickly. So first here is you're in sales, whether you want to be or not. So the wise entrepreneur makes sales the lifeline of any business. Priority number 1. So entrepreneurs who start a business without thinking of how their products or services will be sold in the marketplace are making a huge mistake. Why? Next is your customer is your boss. So the customer determines at the end of the day who is successful and not for what reason. Entrepreneurs in the business to business space must be especially careful to listen to their customers. So the wise entrepreneur makes sales the lifeline of any business. Priority number 1. An entrepreneur who has no interest in sales find the best sales experts for them team to ensure the business success. Next here is your customer is your boss. Next here is you aren't always the best person to close the deal. The best entrepreneurs know that being a CEO doesn't make you the best person to present to investors, to close a sale, or to do a number of other tasks. Perhaps you don't speak with passions or you have to trouble communicating. Next one is networking isn't all about you. So the currency of real networking is not greed but generosity. Here, two great benefits come with this paradigm shift. Here is the discussion gets right to how a relationship can help both of you grow, and then next is don't waste time on people who can't say yes. So never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. So that's no way to run a successful business. Take off the blindfold by using this approach and increase your chances for getting a yes. Next here is there's no such thing as a cold call. A winning effort begins with preparation. So if you are an elite entrepreneur, you don't go into anything cold. Next is tell everyone about your business. So kids, they dance before they learn there is anything that isn't music. So how can other people know your business if you don't tell your business? So an entrepreneur who doesn't tell people about his or her business is likely a baseball player at the bat who swings only when it's sunny, missing a lot of good pitches that could be home runs. Next is ask the right questions. So successful people ask better questions, and as a result they get better answers. So here, a common impediment that customers have is high cost. So in several negotiations, customers have complained that my price is too high. So after asking them, for example, to describe their budgetary process, I must learn that cost is often not the issue. Next is receive the maximum value for your products or services. So our beliefs was that if we keep putting great products in front of customers, they would continue to open their wallets. So novice entrepreneurs often make the mistakes of devaluing the worth of their product or services. So realizing that our standard was indeed too low and considering that we wanted to make a living from music, so I decided to increase our rate significantly. So as a result, I reverted to our lower rates, thinking that this was the only way we would get gigs. Next is don't patronize customers. So companies don't get rich hurting their customers. So your job is to make your clients and your employees feel as if they are the most important people in the world. Next is build your network creatively. So it isn't just what you know, and isn't just who you know. So it actually who knows you, and what you do for a living. The value of networking in the traditional sense, where random people meet and try to connect the dots, is next to nil. So in fact, the value may be negative and therefore hurting your business. Next is don't hold grudges. So anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. So entrepreneurs is a humbling exercise in learning how to deal with your negative feeling so as to do what's best for your company. So we are done with the chapter 5. Let's move on in the chapter 6 about the leadership. So this chapter so this chapter you read about some of the main leadership qualities that entrepreneurs have and why they are important. So leadership qualities can be taught and learned. So countless examples are available of these tech entrepreneurs who learn to be leaders of their company and are quiet good ones, just like Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook, who was coached by business veterans. Comes to mind once a reserved Greek. He is now a dynamic CEO of a billion-dollar company. So here we have act spite of how you feel. So a clear understanding of negative emotions, dismiss them. So as you move forward toward your business goals, don't let your emotions. So next here is push beyond your fear. So as soon as the fear approaches near, attack and destroy it. So your commitment to goal overcomes your trepidation, and that's what being an entrepreneur is all about. So you should push beyond your fear. So fear has nothing to do with the growth of your business. Next is be a maverick. So here's to the crazy ones, the rebels, the troublemakers, the ones who see things differently. So while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Next is all dreams can Next is make your dreams come true. So all dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. So just like pushing you to push through your fear. So entrepreneurs make their dreams happen in many ways, and my experience is a testament to do that. Next is make difficult sacrifices. So great achievement is usually born of great sacrifices. So a great sacrifice has a um great 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 sacrifices has a great um output. So in general, you can measure how badly an entrepreneur wants an idea to become reality based on what that person is willing to sacrifice. Next, here is you have unbelievable endurance. So, endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is to the one who endures that the final victory comes. Entrepreneurs who have the fortitude to keep going despite being tired, to continue to educate themselves to be the top performers, and to work through long lasting pain are the most likely to find success. Next is be prepared to lose it all. So in business, there's always a time like bankrupt, you have to lose what you build, so you must be prepared enough for this. So if I didn't make it in this world, I would probably be homeless. I gave myself that little to fall back on. So we are done with the chapter 6. Let's move to the chapter 7. So this is about the motivation. So here, so in this chapter, you learn about what motivates the most successful entrepreneurs. So ranging from getting fired to wanting to create the best possible product on the market. You learn some of the signs, some of which may surprise you that your motivation is well placed or misplaced. So hopefully these stories, statistics, and beliefs more motivational in them. So to begin with the chapter 7, being successful is not the goal. So nothing recedes like success. Many serial entrepreneurs learn that the value of self-actualization after the first exit. Next is you are excited when Monday morning arrives. It's just another manic day. I wish it weren't Sunday because that's my fun day. And my I don't have to run day is just another manic Monday. So an entrepreneur who dreads Monday is probably not an entrepreneur for the right reason. Next is you're disappointed when Friday arrives. So I hate weekends because there is no stock markets. So Friday might as well be the cry day, and there is no happy hour, just an unhappy hour. So such are the lives of entrepreneurs, full of strange dichotomies. So they like Mondays while everyone else likes Fridays. So we like to work while everyone else plays. They write checks while everyone else gets paid. So entrepreneurs are crazy, but they like being crazy. Crazy rich, that is, even if it means hating Fridays. Next is a 9 to 5 is worse than death. So a real job is a job you hate. So entrepreneurs are often touted for being fearless. So this perception is not reality, though. Entrepreneurs are human and have fears like everyone else. Next is your parents want you to get a real job with benefits. So my son is now an entrepreneur, so that's why you're called when you don't have a job. So in another strange twist of fate, um, so if your parents want you to get a real job, be patient with them. So of course they have your best interest at heart. Next is you sometimes get more resentment than respect. So entrepreneurs are the forgotten heroes of America. So superheroes and entrepreneurs do what must be done regardless. Ultimately, they know that resentment and respect are not mutually um, exclusive. So The good thing that is attitude will likely change as the company improves, but people resent entrepreneurs for two other long-standing reasons. The first is jealousy is perhaps the most common reason that entrepreneurs do not get the respect they deserve, especially from people close to them. Next is entrepreneurs receive disrespect because they are no longer on the corporate grid or part of the matrix. So on an upside is that entrepreneurs who encounter such resentments often turn into a powerful motivator. Next is it's not about being your own boss. So kill my boss, do I dare live of the American dream? So the entrepreneurial personality turns the most trivial condition into an exceptional opportunity. The people who subscribe to the be your own boss fallacy cripple their entrepreneurial potential are in the wrong persons. So are you a boss or an entrepreneur? Next is entrepreneurship is in your blood literally. So inspiration comes from all different places. So choosing to be an entrepreneur can be a lonely endeavor and experience, especially if no one in your family is one. So here on the next top on the next topic on the next topic here is you know your worth. So self-worth comes from one thing, thinking that you are worthy. So once you have taken that leap to become an entrepreneur and you have been in business for a while, knowing your worth takes on another meaning. So here is you have to understand that things do not always work in your favor, but when they do, it's all worth it. So don't take it from me, just take it from Mark Zuckerberg. Next is you can't keep a job. So didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. This is according to Steve Jobs, a co-founder of Apple. So there are many signs that you are entrepreneur, but not being able to keep a job for long is perhaps the biggest sign. So here, um, for the number 94 of chapter 7, you cry when things don't get go your way. So disappointment is an endless wellspring of comedy inspiration. So disappointments are the are 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 may disappointments makes individual stronger, and it serves an inspiration. So many entrepreneurs in the world have cried about their business. They just aren't honest enough to admit it, like Jobs and me. So yeah, nothing would admit that they cried for it, diba? Next is it's never too late to be an entrepreneur. Yeah, so no matter what your age you are now, so you are never too old to set another goal to or to dream a new dream. So don't let your age determine your pursuing your dreams. Ultimately, a solid business idea paired with flawless execution, not a fresh face, is what leads to success in business. So no matter how old you are, as long as you have the guts, you have the passion to do the business, so it's okay. There's no age limit in a business or to become an entrepreneur. Next is you feel unequal joy when your idea becomes reality. It's alive. Here, so for the next here is following your passion is bogus. So if passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. So entrepreneurs shouldn't necessarily be encouraging people to follow their passion to attain success in business. Here is this advice is more applicable to a lofty self-help goal in life. So business is about solving problems, improving the quality of life, creating new solutions, and yes, making money. So these things involves a great deal of pain and drudgery, not endless euphoria. So um, whether your business has anything to do with your passion shouldn't be the determining factor in why you want to start a business. Next is the last two. You have the right motivation. So money was never the motivation. So as an entrepreneur develops, so should that person motivation. So in most cases, motivation in general terms rarely if ever do we place a value judgment on the different types. So the goal of entrepreneurs should be to align their motivation with the business objectives, which is an element of the third and highest level of motivation. So once you achieve this level, your company has the highest potential for greatness. Next is you love your life. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. Yes. So the quality of life that a person had as an entrepreneur has been greater than anything they could have imagined. So when I say I love my life, it's neither to gloat nor to boast, but to reaffirm my belief that being an entrepreneur is life is at best. This is what makes entrepreneurs one of a kind. And then for the last topic, the last tips here is you're an entrepreneur forever. So you take the blue pill, the story ends. So you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. Take the red pill, you stay in a wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Here, um, regardless of the reason, entrepreneurship is so captivating. So we can all agree that it is. So even if it returned to a 9 to 5 job, you will never view it in the same way. So you are just an entrepreneur in hiding or in transition. Those of who have taken the red pill know this already. But if you are considering entrepreneurship for the first time, know that once you are in a wonderland, it is forever. There is no turning back. So you are just an entrepreneur in hiding in transitions. Those who have taken the red pill is now. Those of us who have taken the red pill know this already. So this ends my presentation about this book, The Entrepreneurial Mind. Thank you for listening and have a good day, everyone.